Hello, how's it going, everybody? We are back. It is not only myself, Purple Thunder, Corey, but we have the King here. He's returned triumphantly. Yeah. Jackson, how's it going there, sir?
It's going good.
It's going good. So, first, I want to give an update to people. So Jackson is back. If you've heard inklings on the other episodes of this, how he's like in a foreign country and all that. No, he has returned home where he belongs. How's that been so far? Give us a little synopsis of your travel adventures.
Yeah, so I was talking about this a little bit on the stream yesterday, but I'm pretty sure it was after the podcast was over. Mm-hmm. And essentially what happened to me is that I woke up in the morning and like I got texts from all of my friends and from my family too. And my friends were just saying, hey, your family's trying to get a hold of you. But like everyone was doing it through WhatsApp anyways. So, but I was asleep. And I woke up and turns out my dad had bought me a ticket already. So I was like, oh shit, well, guess I'm packing.
Yeah,
and so I deregistered, I packed up, and I was actually the first student to leave. Dang. The very first one. And everybody woke up at the same time, of course, because everybody was expecting to go to classes and stuff. But the travel ban and the CDC ranking of Germany those were the two factors that basically kicked me out.
Yeah, so the King home now. That I'm not gonna lie, like I forget what I was doing. I think we were doing podcast or something. It was like I feel like I was on Discord with everyone, and I saw like the Trump ban, like that was like a height of like Corona wildness, and instantly I was like, ah shit, are they gonna fuck over Jackson? And I just remember like I texting you being like, ah shit, my man Trump getting in there.
Oh yeah, you did text me that. Yeah, you said Trump fucked you up.
Yeah, because you were like, I felt like I just talked to you about like, yo, are you gonna come home or like, are they sending you home? And you're like, we'll wait and see. And then like right after, Trump was like, yeah, I don't think so, bud. So.
Yeah, I mean it's not all that bad.
Yeah.
It was for a semester of my college, and I'm not behind. I'm getting 15 credit hours worth. And I'm also getting reimbursed.
Sick nasty. So not the end of the world, but aren't you like 2 weeks of no corona? So you're like A-okay, at least as far as Germany goes.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been in the United States for more than 2 weeks now. And then I've been in Nebraska for less than 2 weeks, but my 2-week Nebraska quarantine is about to be up.
Sick.
And then once my personal quarantine is over, I'll be able to not have to submit like temperatures, and because I just did it before the stream. I had to submit my temperature and then just tell them like whether or not I was feeling feverish or whatever. So yeah, other than that, it's been pretty nice. Like I've just been in my house spending time with all the people here. Of course, nobody has come over.
Yeah. I'm for it. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, if there was not a fucking pandemic, like, this situation would not be happening where everybody just has all this free time. But, like, this would be the perfect time to get shit done and, like, get together and stuff, or even just hang out. So it's like, I don't know, it's the worst.
It's unfortunate. Yeah. I was actually just in around where Corey lives, and then I drove like an hour back to where I live, and I just thought it was funny that I drove like further away from Corey so that I could do the podcast with Corey.
Yeah, it's just fucking wild, and it's like I keep telling people it's like I'm not real worried for me. Like I know like I'm not in the age range of people who are getting murdered. I know a lot of people of different scenarios are in fact, you know, getting fucked up by this shit. So I'm trying to be wary, but I'm more worried for like the people around me. So it'd be my luck that I'm like, haha, I got it, boys, and I just bring it home.
Yeah, for sure. I think what people need to realize about this is that it's not necessarily about you.
Yeah.
It's about like the people around you that could actually get seriously devastated by this.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, even if it don't kill you, like, this could still do some bad stuff, even if it's, like, just kind of making you suffer for, like, a week. Like, I'm sure it still sucks regardless, so.
Yeah. So just, you know, fucking stay inside and keep washing your hands and don't be dumb. Mm-hmm. You know, if you
That's the bottom line. Don't be dumb.
Yeah. If you have a fever, don't go to McDonald's.
Please.
Like.
And if you go to McDonald's and you somehow get it, don't be surprised, please. Don't be like, darn, man, how did I get this? Please. old
That
as
has
a
been
drink.
something really weird. Is like just eating the food here again.
Oh, I guess that is a thing. I didn't really think about that. This is just like, you didn't even serve your full sentence there, but I assume it's still weird to be back.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. Like entering for the first. I actually flew into Georgia, so I wasn't even here. But yeah.
You're back. The king is back.
King is back. Yeah, I was also telling. I thought that it's funny because you said the king is back when I was flying back, and it's just funny because like the king is back is only a phrase because I'm just gone all the time.
Yes.
And then I come back.
You're like the only dude that like leaves all the time, I guess, besides like Trent now. But like that's because he's like actually gone. It's not like he's traveling then coming back. Like he's got other shit to do. Also, I'm not ignoring you guys. Hi Chump. Hi Bossum. Hi Sam. Yeah, this is not going to be a Corona podcast, I promise. But this is an evening with the king. You got to catch up and see what's popping with the king himself, royalty himself.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about some real shit. Now, we started this podcast probably at like the best time because, like episode 1. But I feel like we did episode 1. We had like no real Pokemon news to talk about that much. But episode 2, Mystery Dungeon was announced. We were super excited for that. And we were planning on doing one of these a lot sooner, but I think it's good that we actually waited this long because you've completed Mystery Dungeon, right? Have you done all like the post game and stuff as well?
I haven't done the post game. I've done a little bit of it. I mean, I have evolved and stuff.
I'm in the same boat, so just as long as we both completed the main game. But
the thing is, like, Mystery Dungeon came out, and then I played it as much as possible. And then I finished it on the flight over here, actually.
So it's
and
just
then
like terrible timing.
Yeah, and then I landed, and Animal Crossing came out like immediately after. So
that's legit what happened with me. Like I was like, I need to get at least through the main story of Mystery Dungeon before Animal Crossing comes out because I know there's no way I'm gonna be able to handle both at the same time. And also playing Persona on my own time, so it's a lot of shit.
And Mystery Dungeon definitely is like a side game. Like, it's
for sure.
Like, it's not a primary game that you focus on, I don't think.
I definitely believe that. Yeah, pretty much the only main thing that was pushing me through it was I was just like streaming and making videos for it. But I don't know. I had a nice time with it overall. I've never played the original. In fact, this was the first Mystery Dungeon game I got all the way to the end. I played a little bit of Explorers of Darkness when I was a wee lad, but even as a wee lad, I had like video game ADHD, and I would start a lot of games and not finish a lot of games. So I like not even like halfway done through a lot of games, but Mystery Dungeon was on that. So I was glad I finally got through it. Chump, who was here for like the whole journey.
Trump was your
my Magneton, yeah. It was pretty hype.
Magneton, he evolved, yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, his first was Magnemite, yeah. So yeah, I think it was overall really cool. I didn't have a lot to compare it to, obviously, since I've never played the original. One thing I was thinking about, so have you played the original, like Red and Blue Rescue Team?
I played a little bit of it, but I didn't finish it.
Gotcha. So the one thing, I don't know if you can answer this then, there's like sections where there's like cutscenes in Mystery Dungeon DX, and I'm thinking of like the part where you like fight Alakazam for like 2 seconds. How does that look in the original DS games?
I'm pretty sure it just looks like two groups of sprites that are about to move towards each other, and then like a flash, and
then it just stops.
Appears in the middle saying "Stop!"
Oh, okay, so they don't actually tussle it out, because that was a legit thing. Even Chump brought that up, I think, when I was playing. We're like, what the fuck would this look like in the original game?
I could be wrong, because like I said, I never got that far. I did get it on the Game Boy when I was in Wyoming, but I think I was playing something else.
Gotcha.
At that point, so I was just like, it's a fun thing to own, and it was really cheap.
So my question for you, so you're a fan of Mystery Dungeon. I think I'm considered a fan now after playing this. This is actually my first time even playing through a Pokemon side game all the way, or like a spin-off.
Oh, cool.
And I know most of the PNTV boys are actually super into a lot of the Pokemon side games. At this point, probably more than the main games. I know Sam is also big into Mystery Dungeon, and he's planning on playing DX.
Shout out to Sam and Apple Woods, my dude.
So what do you think? Was this Mystery Dungeon game like enough to scratch the itch of like a dead series, or are you hoping for like a little more next time around, or what's up?
I think at first I was really caught off guard. I remember getting to. I don't know if anybody cares about spoilers or anything. Probably not.
There's not really a lot of spoilers.
I remember getting to the point in the main story where like the quote unquote fugitive arc happens, and like pretty much in most Mystery Dungeon games, I think. I don't remember Gates to Infinity or Super like at all, but there's like a fugitive arc where like you're considered to be like
a bad guy.
Yeah, and then like the town chases you out. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty brutal as a kid. But like, when I got to the fugitive arc of this game, I was surprised that it happened so quickly. I was like, shit, I'm only like level 20. Like, fuck. this story is really advancing quickly. Because I remember explorers like lasting longer. Like, I remember there being a lot more bosses and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like in the main story at least. Because in this game, I think you have like the 3 birds and then Rayquaza.
It's like, the 3 birds and then like Groudon and then Rayquaza.
Oh yeah, and then Groudon and then Rayquaza, and then that's it. But like in Explorers, like there's a lot. There's a lot of bosses in the main story, and there's also a lot more content in the main story overall. So playing through this game, I did actually. Forrest played the original game, so I've been asking him a lot of questions about like, oh shit, is this right? Like, should the story be going?
Is this how it should be?
Like,
yeah.
And I can confirm that it's pretty much like a direct remake of.
I've heard that a little bit. That's like it's actually just straight up a remake. Like they didn't really add or like take away anything too much. So.
But that's cool. But yeah, so there's that. It was really fast, and I was surprised about how fast it is. Overall, it scratched the itch. There's a lot of things in the game that, such as the music, the gameplay, and how hard it was sometimes. Sometimes it was like really hard.
Okay, there's a large margin of the game where, so I had like a lot of the rare abilities or whatever, where they would like make it so people joined your party more often. So it was not like a lot of times I would roll up to a boss and have like 8 people in my party and like didn't even get the chance to attack half the time, and my dudes would just run through it, and I was like, oh, this game's baby mode. And then you get to the fugitive arc and you have no help. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm not prepared for this. That's when it was hard, when they just strip all your homies away and you just have no help, and you're like, well, I hope you and your partner are leveled enough.
That's another thing that Mystery Dungeon usually does, is that which honestly kind of bothers me. It bothers me like when you can recruit Pokemon and then you like kind of want to get attached to them. Yeah. Okay, so like a couple things bother me about that is that you recruit Pokemon and you want to get attached to them, but the Pokemon that you recruit don't have a character. Like they just kind of talk. They don't really have a personality or anything. Yeah. They're basically like just mindless drones. And the second thing is. When you recruit them at the beginning of the game and you want to run through the entire game with them on your team, like let's say you like them, or you like the aesthetic that they add to your team, or you like the character if they had any, or maybe even if you're just making up a character, I don't know. And then like it gets to a point in all the Mystery Dungeon games where they take away everybody, everybody except for you and the partner. It's like, well, okay, I guess I'm just gonna come back and like 20 levels ahead. Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this. I kind of had a similar. I have like the exact same mindset where it's like, I hate it when games do that, when it's just like they strip away, like whether it's like your gear or like whatever. In this case, it was definitely like, why'd they take all the homies away? I remember Explorers of Darkness, you could have 4 people in your party. Like as your actual party, like not just the dudes that group up with you. And this game, it felt like 3 was kind of restricting, because pretty much 99.9% of the time it was my guy, my partner, so me and Sam Neill. Yeah. And then you could have a third guy, and most of the time I just kept it to Chump, and it wasn't even because Chump was watching, but I kept joking. I was like, oh, Chump's here. But like, I just didn't feel the need to bring anybody else, because it's like, why would I just like handicap myself and try to level somebody else up. That's another thing, is that you can't bring more than 3 people into a dungeon.
Yeah, so that's why
the game kind of like conditions you to like make a team of 3 and then like stick with that one team.
Pretty much, yeah. And like, which is kind of upsetting, just because like there actually are a lot of Pokemon you can get, and like the camps are such a big deal where you buy the different camps, and then you can then find Pokemon to then join the camps, and then you can bring them on your adventures and stuff. And they added in a couple of people, not a lot since the original games, but I think it's basically just anybody who had an evolution, like a Gen 4 evolution or whatever, stuff like I don't know, like Honchkrow or like Licky, stuff like that. Were added to the game. There's also like Sylveon, like pretty much if you were in the base game and you got a new evolution since the first one, I think that's all they added. But still, like they added a bunch of new Pokemon, and like I don't know, I have like the 2 actual characters, and then the first person they give you, that was just my team the whole time, and I was like, well, there's no point in even trying to do something else. But other than that, I mean, that was pretty much my only complaint with it. So
yeah, I think overall, I definitely scratched the itch. I don't remember Gates to Infinity or Super Mystery Dungeon really appealing to me. I think this game really did a good job of capturing that kind of nostalgic feel that the first 2 PMD games had.
Sick.
Especially with, of course, stuff like the music. The way that they remixed a lot of the music, they made it sound like sort of new, but also sort of old, and the music is still just as good as I remember it. And another thing that I really like, oddly enough, is like the humor. Like a lot of the game is just really stupid. like a lot of the game is like really stupid about how it handles things, but it almost kind of seems like they know how stupid it is.
Yeah, because, or like how ridiculous shit gets. Yeah,
you have shit like the Mankey Squad, where like
they just start punching the shit out of your house. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? but I love the shit where it's like they fuse like the ridiculous humor with gameplay mechanics that have to happen. So like the Mankeys, like they're like, oh, did you just say fucking chestnuts, my dude? We love chestnuts. And then it's like, oh, okay. Gotta bring us chestnuts, bro.
I was wondering what that spiky shit was in that one dungeon.
Yeah.
But, so there's just like stuff like that where I don't know.
I definitely think there was multiple occasions where I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
I like the whole Team Meanie thing where it's like they don't even have a goal. They're like, we're just gonna rule the world, and somehow world domination involves just fucking with you all the time, like just me and Sam constantly. I was like, I don't know, they don't have very lofty goals, they just want to fuck with you the whole game. Like, oh, okay.
I'm glad that this was kind of like a straight up remake, because I've been meaning to play these games for a long time just because I like Explorers so much. And I'm glad that I got the experience to at least try it out before I could definitively say that I like Explorers better. But I think I do like Explorers better. I think it just kind of takes all of the things that this game did well, and it like Explorers does it better.
That's dope. So my question then is, I wanted to even make a straight up video about this, because like even if this game didn't turn out to be great, I was gonna tell people like we should probably go support this, because if I keep saying this, but I believe I'm correct in saying that they're like all the other spin-off games are dead, right? Like there are no, besides like mobile games, I guess, like Pokemon Go or whatever, or like Pokemon Masters. But those are, I feel like those are a lot different than like an actual like video game spin-off.
For sure.
I guess. Like I don't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole, but like they're not mainline spin-off games. Because we have Conquest, Gale of Darkness, Arena, Stadium, whatever. And I was going to tell people, I feel like it's good to support this, because I hope if this does well, I hope that would show them that, like, hey, there's still a market for these games, and there's plenty of people that will enjoy this.
Yeah, for sure. And I can tell, like, and going and complicating this game more, like, there's a lot of like the style, the way that they did the style. You can tell that they took inspiration from like the art style of like the cover art and stuff, and they basically made the entire game look like it. It's kind of like this like storybook. Yeah,
it's like Winnie the Pooh is what it reminds me.
Yeah, it's really cute looking. And I really liked it. I kept appreciating it over and over again. There was that one scene where you're just like escaping from the town. You keep going past like different environments and stuff, and I was like, oh, a lot of the backgrounds and stuff look really cool. So yeah, so I could tell that there was definitely a lot of heart put into this game. as far as like supporting it, yeah, I think it's good to probably support it, but I also personally do not think it's worth $60.
That is definitely a point against it. It does not feel like especially so I'm gonna assume what DS games were like $35-$40 in their time.
$40, yeah.
So for it to be a completely faithful remake with not too much added to it, I mean, there's definitely some things added to it. We have like fucking Mega Evolution, but like really that's not that much of a difference. It's just kind of aesthetically different from Empowerment Seeds or whatever. But like there are some things, don't get me wrong, but for it to be a almost 100% completely faithful remake just put on like a main console, I don't think that constitutes $60. I feel like it could have been 40 or even like 50.
Yeah.
And then like they didn't even really show it off too much. Like they didn't advertise it a bunch, so it's not like they're like $60, here you go. So I feel like that's just kind of pushing people away more than it's asking people to buy it.
Yeah, and I for sure. I think another thing that's probably pushing people away from it is the dungeon crawling gameplay.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people. I've heard a lot of like review outlets and stuff talk about it, like where it's like, oh, this is actually kind of boring. I don't know why people like this so much. Like a lot of people don't really get like, cause like this game is definitely like very very hyped up. In like there's like a cult following in the Pokemon community for this game. And a lot of game reviewers and stuff like were just confused when it came out because the story isn't that great, the gameplay isn't that great.
I think that's so in this whole like, oh, they didn't really add much to it. I'm a little bit glad that they didn't actually add too much to it. And like obviously I would have enjoyed it for it to be, you know, have the fullest potential it should have. But I'm hoping that they're saving whatever new they could have implemented for an actual new addition to the series, like not a remake. So
for sure.
So I hope that's the route they end up going, so that way, yeah, they can like expand upon these things that people don't like from the old games, because that's a problem with remaking an old game, is it's always going to have the same problems unless you somehow fix them. But that's like kind of not a faithful remake anymore. You got to find the balance there. So
I mean, like in fairness, like I think what I saw from other review outlets is that, like, you know, maybe this gameplay just isn't for me, but maybe some of the other people will like it. And I think I'm definitely one of the people that falls into that category, because I noticed myself playing that game and like getting really hooked on just going into a dungeon. But I can totally see why people think it's boring and repetitive. Yeah. But like I was super down with just moving around and into the randomly procedured. How did I say that word? Fuck.
Procedurally?
Procedurally generated. That's the word. Thank you. But yeah, I think I was just definitely one of the people that just kind of like enjoyed doing that. I'm really actually kind of a boring person when it comes to games. I really like tedious ass shit. I was talking yesterday about how I just like clearing my island in Animal Crossing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Animal Crossing is the definition of tedious, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like, I feel like Mystery Dungeon, despite it being like a different like genre and like game style than like the mainline games, it kind of has the same problems where it's like the story isn't like amazing or anything. The gameplay is like not that amazing. It's just like hard carried by like the actual Pokemon and stuff, obviously, which is kind of upsetting since there's like they didn't put all the newest Pokemon in there or anything like that. There's definitely like a lot less compared to like even like Gates to Infinity, which has Pokemon from like Black and White and everything in there. And I think is the Super Mystery Dungeon, I think, has all the way to X and Y, I think.
Yep,
so,
Gen 6.
Yeah, so they're obviously missing a lot of Pokemon, which, I mean, at this point we should be used to by playing Sword and Shield. But yeah, I'm just hoping that like they keep the series alive. They make a new game that's worth the $60. Needs to be like same kind of quality and just bring some new stuff.
Either worth $60 or like $20, honestly. Like if it's going to be like how this one was, I don't know if we should be
paying 60 for it.
Yeah, maybe 40 to match the original price. But yeah, there's just not a lot, you know. There's just not a lot there's a fuck ton of post game content, and the post game content is really hard, and it's definitely fun to try and clear like the biggest dungeons, because the dungeons get bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
is the other thing, and
that
I
was
really like.
That was one thing I felt guilty for not continuing to play it, because once you get to where the game like, you know, says the end, like it does not feel like the actual end. There's so much stuff to do. You don't even evolve your dudes until after the game is over, and there's just all this other shit you can do, and it's like it feels like almost they could just move the end to like way later, and then you'd be like, oh shit, I didn't get to the end yet.
Yeah. Can we just talk about? Did you evolve?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can we just talk about the fact how when you go to evolve, it says, hey, it pretty much just says, hey, you're not gonna be cute anymore. You okay with that?
By the way, yeah, you go to. I sat there. I was like, wait a minute. Do the scarves actually do something? And I was like, I googled it, and they're like, no, it's just aesthetic, but you just can't get it back. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it's like, it just feels weird walking around, with like fucking Combuskin, and he's no scarf. It just looks like normal ass Combuskin.
Yeah.
It's but I thought the evolution was pretty cool. Obviously, I didn't evolve too much because I didn't end up playing too much post game. I think one thing, I wasn't actually paying attention too hard to what level I was supposed to be. I think I was supposed to be doing more of the side quests, like the bulletin board stuff, a lot more, because I think I was actually severely like underleveled for a lot of the game. But like I said, I never really saw the effects of it because I would roll like 8 deep into a dungeon, and it's like it doesn't matter if me and my partners are underleveled if there's like fucking a million of us. So, dude, but then like you get to like, that's what happened when I lost Rayquaza, and I was like, oh, I was so close to beating him. He just fucking mega evolves, and I'm like, okay, I guess I need to come back in 10 years and try again.
Yeah, the fucking bulletin board shit drove me as a person crazy, because I like to like get things done, but I also like to take the jobs. So because like the more jobs you take, the more like possibility that like, oh, maybe you'll have like 5 jobs in one dungeon, and you can just get a bunch done at the same time, and it's really pleasing to do that. But at the same time, it took me a little bit to remember that the bulletin board is eternal. Yeah. And there are always going to be jobs on it. So I always am taking jobs, and I'm always also getting done with the jobs. So it's driving me crazy because there isn't like actually an end goal. It's just kind of eternal grinding.
Yeah. That was one thing. I didn't actually even think about it. So I was kind of doing the same thing where I was just pretty much accepting as many jobs as I could hold, and then I would try my best to like go through like, oh, this dungeon has like 5 requests. Let's just do them all in one go. Especially on the days. There's a lot of days in game where you don't have like a story mission, so you just have to fuck around and go into a side quest dungeon and do it. But somebody in my chat actually like kind of pointed me in the way, like the game will go faster if you just don't do 5 requests in one dungeon. Like if you just do the first one and dip, and then it goes to the next day, you just progress a lot faster. And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't think about that. And like I was already towards the end of the game when I started doing that.
Yeah, all you have to do, you don't even have to take a job. You can just go into a dungeon and it counts as a day skip.
Yeah, so I think I could have got through the game a lot faster, which I wasn't really feeling like. I didn't feel like it was too long or anything like that, so don't get me wrong.
I didn't either. Yeah. I didn't either. I don't know how many hours I put into it, but
I was around 15 when I got to the end, I think, and I was at like 18 when I played last, I believe. So yeah. Which is just about right.
I didn't really feel like blazing through it, especially because the game itself, it's appealing to me. I like playing it. And also, it's already really short, the main story is. Yeah. Like I said again, I was very taken aback by how short it was. So.
Yeah, I thought it was, I don't know, it's a big change because a lot of the games I've been playing, they're not like too story-based, like, but I mean, as far as like when I was making YouTube videos and stuff, like, I was doing just kind of a like Smash, which obviously, you know, not story based. So just playing games and stuff like that, and like practicing for tournaments. And then with Persona, like I'm only now feeling like I'm actually getting towards the end. Like forever, like I've been playing that game for just about a year, and like never ever was the end in sight. So like playing Mystery Dungeon and like getting towards the end, it was like, oh shit, like this is a foreign feeling for me. Like when was the last
Yeah.
time I actually got to the end of a video game? So
Yeah. I think Persona is like upwards of 80 hours.
yeah, I've pretty much everywhere I've been looking, people have been saying about 100 hours, which the
God.
first time I saw that, I was like, oh, there's no way, because I usually get through games really, really fast.
Yeah.
And I thought I was actually at the end at like, so I did the 4th palace, and for some reason I thought there was only 5 palaces, and I was like, yo guys, I'm almost done with this game, and everyone was like, you fucking idiot, there's like 7 with like an extra one. I was like, oh Jesus
You
fucking
dumbass.
Christ. Yeah, pretty much everybody was like, you dumbass. Boston said it took me 110, but I grinded towards the end. Gotcha. Yeah, so obviously no spoilers. I just kind of, I know a tiny bit about what the last palace is like, and I know that there's like a little bit of grinding that you might have to do. I think I'm okay with what I'm at right now. Like, obviously I don't know. I that's just like from things I've heard so far. But yeah, I feel finally like I'm close to the end, and maybe I'll play through some other goddamn video games for once. Because I pretty much, anytime I get a free moment and I'm like, okay, video game time, it's just like Persona for like the last year. And it's like, dang.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of like pretty much how you have to play it, but still.
I think I just like straight up played that game
Just gamed it out.
nonstop for like a month, and then I got it done within the month.
Yeah. I think I was at like 45 hours before Quarantine Gang, and I'm at about 80 right now. So I legit like played it a fuck ton during quarantine. I was like, bro, I'm gonna get through this shit. Like, I can't take it anymore. Like, it's a weird feeling, because there's been plenty of games where it's like, I'll be having a lot of fun with it, and it's a longer game, and like by the end I'm just like, just get it over with. Like, please, I just want it to be over with. There's been a lot of games, and Persona doesn't really feel like that. Like, obviously I want to get to the end because like I want to see how it ends, but it hasn't been like, oh my god, smashing my face on the wall. I just want it to be over with. Like, it's actually pretty much like all of it has been very entertaining and fun to play. So.
Yeah, for sure. I feel the same way about that game. Not to like turn this into a Persona podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I pretty much enjoyed that game all the way through. I didn't find any of it tedious or anything like that. I love pretty much everything about it.
Yeah, which is a weird feeling, because I mean, there are games that I've played recently which are like 10 hours long, and like the whole thing is like, why am I playing this? And like now I'm about to play a 100-hour game and just be very satisfied with all of it. So
Yeah, for sure. If we're talking about a game with a lot of content, that's definitely worth $60. Persona 5.
Hell yeah. I got that shit for $30, bro. Like,
yeah,
this is crazy times.
You can get it for cheaper. You can just get it used. You don't even have to play the new one, the Royal, if you don't want to. Because I heard the Royal was like some more content. So if you don't want to do that, you can just get the used one.
Yeah. That's another thing. I mean, obviously this is not Persona or Pokemon related, but I said something on Twitter where I was like, I really actually do want to get the Persona 5R. Just at least because the box is really cool, which I know that's a really stupid reason to fucking spend $60 on a game, but the box is really cool, and I do actually feel like I will want to play it sooner rather than later. So I was like, I want to buy it, but I can only find in-store pickup. It's like sold out on like Amazon, and I'm like,
sometimes I'll watch like one of your videos and I'll hear like Persona music in the background, and I'll just kind of like get this like feeling of nostalgia, my spring semester of 2019.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I kind of want to play Persona again. Yeah. But I also know that it's a humongous time sink, and there's so many other games that I want to play right now.
That's literally the situation I'm in right now too, because it's like, if I'm about to beat it, if I somehow beat it, like within the next, I feel like I'll probably beat it pretty soon. But it's like, I just cannot see myself. Like, I feel like there's no point in just diving right back in, and it's not even New Game Plus, like where it's like how it's supposed to be played. So we'll see. Anyways, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, pretty cool. We need some more, Nintendo.
Yeah, I'd be down if they did more like side game remakes. I know a lot of people want like Conquest and Coliseum and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But we talked about on another podcast that it'd be kind of weird that, like, Pokemon games nowadays are just already basically Conquests.
Yeah.
They're just like all in 3D anyways. But I mean, like, they actually have, by what I've heard, semi-interesting stories. So I mean,
and like it's kind of just like Fire Emblem gameplay. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting enough. One thing.
Oh yeah, well, for Conquest, yeah.
One thing I've heard, which I thought would be interesting. So you know how Nintendo, we have the virtual consoles like the NES and the SNES.
Yeah.
So one thing I was thinking of, so I really want them to keep going with that. I've said that a lot. Like, I hope we get like the N64 one soon. And like, even if it doesn't come with Nintendo Online, which I would hope it would, but like, I would honestly be down to pay for something like that. Or like GameCube. If they made a DS one, we could be getting some Pokemon action on the Switch, which would be super flames, but they also could pull some kind of different move where they just have like Pokemon Virtual Console. Do you think that would be something that would be cool if they had like strictly Pokemon Virtual Console?
I guess. Is there enough?
Well, if it was like mainline games,
if it was like everything,
yeah,
like not even just.
Yeah. If it was just like straight, because they started making on the 3DS, they had original Red and Blue and Yellow, and then Gold, Silver, Crystal on the 3DS.
True.
So if they did something like that on the Switch, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, if they had like old mainline games and then like old side games like Ranger, Conquest, Mystery Dungeon, Coliseum, like the Game Boy games, XD, Gale of Darkness, I'm sure a lot of people would be super down for that.
And so far, like, the Switch has been like, obviously there's a lot of great first party games and stuff like that, but it's kind of been like a super port machine. Like, there's so many games getting ported to it, including older Nintendo titles, and I kind of hope they keep going with that. There's so many games, like even on just like the Wii U, where it's like, bro, just like get that shit off of there. Like this is like fucking stuck on this deserted island. Like how many? There's so many games people have just not played because they were just only Wii U exclusive. So
yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool, especially because you'd be getting all of them for pretty much for free. Like it's just more incentive to get the Nintendo service, which to be honest is already like kind of crappy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you do get all of those NES and SNES games, which I have been playing on and off actually. I might be a minority in that, but
I play it like a tiny bit, but like I don't think I play it enough to warrant like I don't think there's pretty much, it's just like an added bonus of somehow paying for Nintendo shitty online. Like there's no reason to be like, I'm gonna spend money to get the virtual console. Like I don't think that's how it goes down. So
yeah. It's some of the games that are actually pretty cool. I know that they have like Star Fox 2 on there, which really I thought was pretty cool because Star Fox 2 was like that one game that like wasn't actually ever released until recently.
Yeah.
So
I kind of hope Nintendo goes deeper along that route, and I think the main thing to be excited for is if like I don't know, like a Pokemon like service or something like that, or even if it was like just a DS service, because that could get a lot of Pokemon games. Like let's be honest, that's like the Pokemon's hometown on the DS there. So if we got like a Nintendo DS virtual console, I think that would kind of have to scare them away from making remakes, and they would just have to make fucking new games, because it's like, why would you play a remake of, you know, I don't know, whatever, Black and White, or I don't know, like even just like Mystery Dungeon or something like that, if we could just play the original on the Switch? I think they would then have to start just making a new fucking game. So for free and not for $60.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know, if that happened, like I don't know, I'm so conflicted on like this whole Diamond and Pearl remake shit, because it's like we keep having the conversation of not even like should they, or like not even will they, but it's more should they. Like pretty much everybody is very doom and gloom about like, oh, it's just gonna be shitty, so it's like, why even try? So if they just brought back like original Pokemon Nintendo DS games and be like, look bro, make us a new good game, you can't just try to cash in on remakes all the time.
Sure, yeah, I'd be excited either way.
So I mean, it'll be interesting either way. But hey, what is something that's always seems to be way more poppin' than the Pokemon games is the Pokemon TCG, which I haven't played in a while because of La Corona.
La Corona.
Yeah, so that's been like kind of killing my vibe with like making videos and stuff about it, just because there's only so much you can do. Like obviously there's the online, but it's like it's so hard to get the cards you need online unless you have like troves of packs and you just have to trade with random people and all this shit.
Guess who has troves of packs?
Well, I do actually have like a
troves
stack of QR codes. I'm too
yeah,
lazy to
stack
play.
of QR codes is
Yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah.
Because pretty much whenever we open a pack in the house, we give the QR code to Major.
Yeah.
He has yet to submit a lot of them, but he has them.
It's like the process of getting them all in the game is a pain. Like no matter how you look at it, like even if you somehow like for whatever reason my camera is not good enough, like it can't scan the QR code, so I have to painstakingly type them all in, which is a pain.
Yeah.
If you have like a stack of like 100 or whatever, like that's an all day thing right there.
Yeah.
And then plus like you can't even actually just get like the cards you need. Like you can't like buy singles or anything online. Unless you like buy singles from some random dude on eBay, which I don't know if I believe in that. I don't know if I have faith in that.
I bought a Mew. I bought the barrier protection Mew off of eBay, and it never came.
Oof. I think you could report that. Did you like look into it at all?
No, I didn't really. It was only like $1. And I didn't really feel like looking into it or like fighting it or contacting anybody. Also because I'm like extremely socially awkward. Oh, okay. So I just felt like I was just gonna let it go. And I got a Mew for cheaper on Amazon anyways. So
nice. Well, yeah. So I mean, so Pokemon. I mean, obviously it's hard to play right now, and we were just talking about before this. They're probably not gonna be pre-release events. I don't see the world getting completely clean because I mean it would be like 2 weeks from now, wouldn't it? Like it's like usually like 2 weeks before the set comes out, and it comes out May 1st if I'm
the next set I believe is VMAX Rising, right?
Yeah, VMAX Rising or Rebel Clash is what it is, I believe. In
Rebel
America.
Clash.
Yeah.
Rebel Clash in America. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean there's tons of super cool cards coming in that, but it's gonna be a weird set release to not go to a pre-release for it or anything.
I do know that the official TCG company or whatever actually canceled all official events.
Yeah.
So there definitely is not going to be anything going on. No, I don't even think there's any like weeklies going on at any of the places around us. So I mean, there might be online tournaments, but I don't have the resources to do online.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's. I mean, obviously everything is in a weird spot, so it's like, it's a given that Pokemon TCG is in a weird spot right now. But I mean, it's like still hype to read about cards and stuff like that. Like, there's plenty to theorize for decks and stuff, and like hopefully the world doesn't just fucking end, and like eventually we can play this new set and stuff like that.
For sure.
But so you've been sitting on some Pokemon talk for a while, so let's hear it from the king himself, Pokemon TCG.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the recent they took out Fairy and they took out Dragon.
Yes.
Took out those two types. They were introduced in X and Y. And they took them out recently, and a lot of people are wondering,
what the hell?
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
What the hell? What they have since said, which is what I wanted to talk to you about personally, is that they did it for balancing. So essentially, when you have a card game with like 18 different types, things can get kind of crazy, balancing and whatnot. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to eliminate some of the types, and they're trying to focus on 5 primary types, quote unquote.
Gotcha.
And the reason they're doing that, and the reason that they moved, so the changes that they made officially were they took out the Fairy and the Dragon type. The Poison type in the original Pokemon game has moved over to the Darkness type.
Yeah, Dark type now.
Circle. Fairy types are now without a home, but they have been since moved to the Psychic type.
Oh, okay.
And Dragons are just going to be the same as normal, I'm pretty sure. Most dragons are dual type, which is good because they just take on the type that they are not dragon, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Like Kingdra, for example, is dragon water, so he will be water in the TCG, most likely. And so those are the official changes. They also changed a few weaknesses. water types are now primarily weak to electric instead of grass.
Yeah, and I know, not like typing wise, but I know they actually care about resistance again too, because like so many things just like didn't have resistance anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of resistance. Types have been switched around, weaknesses have been switched around, all in order to try and balance the game, because of course, as you know, in the Sun and Moon era, we had Pikaram and Reshizard.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of the Sun and Moon era, also humongous middle finger, we got ADP.
Yeah. I felt like they just did not give a shit anymore. Yeah, they were just like,
they
take it
just
all.
introduced all of these extremely busted, extremely aggressive decks. They also had I think it's funny because they call it Reshiram, but it's just Reshiram and Zekrom, and that's another deck that was pretty horrifying. I remember that coming out in Cosmic Eclipse, and all of the guys in the Curtis house were like, "Oh shit, I don't like that. It's pretty much just Pikaram and Reshizard in one card." So yeah, they had all of these like hyper aggressive decks that really honestly didn't have a legitimate counter, and as a result, the are you muted? Oh, okay, got it. So, and as a result, they've decided to switch those weaknesses around and focus on 5 primary types. And the reason why is so that they can give equal amount of support to those types, and they have set up the weaknesses in such a way that no one type can necessarily rise above the other, or at least that's their hope.
I mean, if that works out, that'd be amazing. I definitely could see how like so Pokemon's in a weird spot. Like, I mean, most successful card games like, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, they've been around for fucking millennium. So it comes to a point where it's like, how do you mix it up without, completely just like changing everything about the game? So like I could see why all of these things exist, where it's like you have to, all the new typings, and like there's only so many new Pokemon. Like, obviously they don't really care about reprinting cards, or like, here's the 10th Pikachu or whatever, like shit like that. But like there's only so many new like styles or whatever you can do with different cards and things like that, and strategies. So it's like, it's understandable for them to make these drastic changes.
If you look at a game like Magic, in which you basically only have 5 primary colors. And I'm aware of the fact that there are also color combinations and stuff like that, but the fact of the matter at the end of the day is that like Magic has 5 primary colors, and all of them, they don't necessarily deal with weaknesses either. So the thing about Pokemon is you have weaknesses, and then on top of that you have so many different like things that can happen. You have so many different types, you have so many different Pokemon. You're not attacking the player, you're attacking the other Pokemon on the field, so it's definitely a little different.
Yeah, it's like an interaction more about like the creatures than like the players,
exactly. Yeah, so I would hope that this is going to be good. I mean, we're already seeing in Sword and Shield a ton of support for water and grass, because water and grass happen to be 2 of the 5 primary types that they wanted to focus on. And I mean, water, that's excellent, because then, Reshizard can't dominate anymore, hopefully, because, it'll just get one-shotted by Lapras VMAX. And also we have the fantastic Frostmoth. And then in grass, we have Rillaboom. We're getting Turffield Stadium. It's a stadium that lets you just search your deck for a evolution grass Pokemon. Yeah. Super good, basically evolution instance, but as a stadium. So you get to do it for free. There's some new fighting stuff coming out. So like I know that like fighting has been one of the types that like pretty much the only way that you can run fighting decks.
You have to do martial arts dojo. You gotta do,
Yeah, you have to be losing the game essentially.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different variety in fighting types coming out. One of them is the one that I'm really interested in doing is the upcoming Phalanx deck.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a little bit on our own.
Yeah, we did talk about that. And yeah, overall, I hope it sounds like it will be healthier, because it sounds hopefully like, there's fucking Charizard VMAX. It's really powerful. Oh,
Yeah.
but we also have water, and water has plenty of support to deal with it. So there will actually be water players. Water is really oppressive, but we have Pikarom. Pikarom is really oppressive, but we have support in the Phalanx decks, and we see Phalanx, we see Regirock V, we see people building decks around Stone Journer. I've seen that one.
It's just kind of like it's always been a thing in Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure it always will be, like the ups and downs of the different types. Like there's always that one type that's just like unequally just better, like has more support,
sure.
And there's just like almost no way to get around that unless you just give no support to everything. Like there's always like some kind of reason to go with one type over another if you were just strictly trying to make the best deck possible. Steel type is super duper good right now. Obviously,
that's true.
Like they're kind of doing the thing where like in Smash Bros, like there's certain mods that like make all the characters ridiculous, but like since they're all ridiculous, they're all kind of balanced at the same time. And that's almost what they're doing with this, because it's like, well, their fire types are super good, water types are adding a million things, grass types are adding a million things, fighting types they've always had some stuff, but it's like coming together now to actually make shit work. You know, steel types, they're added a bunch of shit. So it's like they're just trying to kind of build up all of the types at some point, and then like kill off anybody who's like not has typing. So like fairy, dragon, they're like, nope, get out of here, no more. Like we don't need to worry about supporting you, and instead we're just gonna focus on these things.
They can focus their resources on like things that that do in attempts to balance the game.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's interesting, and obviously it sucks that we can't see the results of this immediately because of
It is really unfortunate that ADP is weak to Fairy, because ADP virtually will have the only relevant Fairy deck, at least to my knowledge, was Guardian. And
that was literally
I don't know how many people are going to be playing Guardian anymore.
There's just no support for Fairies, so
yeah. But we'll see.
We'll see.
What happens. So we're still dealing with this like weird transition era from Sun and Moon into Sword and Shield. So of course there are still some Sun and Moon things that are floating around.
This is always the weirdest time, when it's like stuff like how like Great Catcher, you can't go after V cards and stuff just because of the name and stuff. It's not even really like a rule change. It's just like this weird puberty stage between sets and stuff like that, which is, I mean, it makes it interesting. It's probably it's not weird necessarily in a bad way, but it's just like interesting, and then eventually, obviously, the meta will be Sword and Shield.
People still run Great Catcher because there's still GXs that are floating around.
You can still kill the Dene and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's still the Dene. The Dene will survive rotation, so the Dene will still be here. So Valley will survive rotation, so Valley will still be here. There's plenty. I've actually personally I kept like a Great Catcher or two in my deck, and I've actually personally used it against both Forest and Major, and have fucked them up because of it. So
I mean the game's in a cool spot right now. I know the new set, there's going to be plenty of cool things coming out for TCG to make it even more interesting, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully the world can clear up before we even have to start talking about the next fucking set, and like this whatever set where I hope that they kind of delay a new set, because if they come out with another set while like we haven't even played with the one that's about to come out, I feel like that'd be really weird. Like trying to learn two sets at once will be quite the pain. So I mean, obviously, deadlines and fucking.
We have let's see, we have this set. We have Rebellion Clash, and then after Rebellion Clash will be the first set post rotation. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So I mean,
all the shit in Lost Thunder. But I think I'm pretty sure it's Team Up Below.
Yeah, that would that would make the most sense, like formatting wise. So. Yeah, that'll be cool. We'll have to cover that more as more details appear.
Sure.
But for now, what else do we got? We don't really have too much other news in the Pokemon front. We got a tiny bit of news. It's not even really fucking news from the most recent Nintendo Mini Direct. They just kind of showed off Pokemon. It was the last thing in the Direct, so I thought it was going to be something major. They just kind of showed like gameplay footage really of the DLC. It's nothing major. Like, I mean, it looks like Pokemon Sword and Shield, but a new area. Like
it really does. Like, it really doesn't even look like it doesn't even look better.
Yeah, it just looks like the game.
It just looks like Sword and Shield.
Yeah, like not even to shit on it or anything. Like, I mean, like, it's just the game. Like, it wasn't like, whoa, bro. Like, the original trailer they showed for these DLCs, they really had people popping off. Like, and then, I mean, like, afterwards, people were kind of like, whoa, okay, let's think about this. But the original trailer, you're like, whoa, this is some crazy shit. But, like, this did not really highlight, like, the kind of shit people were popping off about. It was just like, yep, this DLC is still coming. They didn't even give us a date either. So they didn't even really reveal anything. So.
Yeah. I don't really think my feelings have changed towards this one.
Mm-hmm.
After we see more of the tundra, what is it called?
The Arctic Crown? Crown Tundra.
Okay, so after we see more of that one, I'll decide if I'm interested in that one. That one just looks slightly cooler to me just because it's in a newer environment. It's kind of snowy. It deals with some archaeology, which I'm down for.
And probably Gen 4
but
stuff.
Yeah. And maybe Gen 4 stuff. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, not a lot.
It's always depressing whenever we talk about. We're never like excited for the mainline Pokemon games. We're always excited to talk about like everything else Pokemon wise, and just never like the mainline.
Something that's really weird is that like since I've been living in this place, I've been playing a lot of like just tabletop games and not a lot of like video games. I mean, of course I'm playing video games now because I was in Germany's and I didn't like have any other way of like entertaining myself really because the internet was bad. So I played video games and I kind of got on kind of a video game high, so we'll see how long it lasts me. I'm still playing like a bunch of single player games and stuff, which I never used to do. But yeah, I kind of just like lost interest in playing video games for a while in favor of just playing trading card games and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was definitely like, I used to play the Pokemon TCG, but like never to the level that we do. Like even, I mean, we don't even do anything that crazy. Like we just kind of play with the homies and sometimes go to tournaments, obviously. But I've never like even done that level before, so it was like a brand new experience, and I think we were all kind of really into it. And obviously we still are. I think we would be playing a lot more if we weren't,
For sure. It was an entirely new format of socialization for a lot of us, and it was still had the familiarity of Pokemon, and it still had the thing that like connects us all together. So it was really cool. It was really cool to it was a really cool time to like when everyone was like, everyone is still super into it. I mean, if you just can't play with each other. So
that's pretty much it. But yeah, and it's I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's a good point too, because like, if we got into something brand new, I don't know if it would have the same feel. Because like Pokemon, even the TCG, it's like always that thing. It's like, oh yeah, my mom used to give me Pokemon cards, or like my homie from around the way had all his Pokemon cards. Like it's like almost impossible to be foreign to Pokemon cards. So
some of my buddies in Germany, I was like, hey, I kind of want to go and if I can find a Pokemon card, like, because I knew that they were like also like kind of nerdy, and I knew that they would be at least familiar with it, and they were like, oh, that sounds awesome, they'll be in German, and I was like, yep. And so I bought them, and I was like, oh cool, I can't wait to play with this one. And they're like, wait, you actually play the game?
I think that's definitely a thing, where you're like, oh, you actually like play? Like, oh, that's lame.
That's lame.
I think that's definitely a thing to just like buy Pokemon cards and be like, oh, look, I got a fucking Salamence. Okay. And then he just sits on your desk for the next 2 years. I don't think
I definitely did like used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I would just like look at a pack and be like, this is really cool art. But I never had any interest in learning how to actually play the game.
And sometimes I kind of miss those days because when so like obviously when we open a pack, like if there's no GX, there's no full art or whatever, it's just like, oh yeah, whatever. Like sometimes like a rare will be pretty good, or there'll be a pretty good like trainer card, but like other than that, you're like, oh whatever. But like when we had the Halloween party and stuff like people like Zach and L Dog and stuff were opening their packs, like they're just like, whoa, look at this one. He's like shiny. You're like, oh, I guess that's cool. Like, I don't really care about this random reverse hollow Bulbasaur, but like, so it's like, I almost miss those days where you're just gonna open this pack and be like, oh shit, look, I got a Pikachu. Like, he's pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes opening packs is like, you know, there's kind of like a little rush when you get like a pack and you're like, oh, look at that. I got like an item card.
Yeah.
Right. You get something like useful out of it, but ultimately it's probably just better to buy singles.
Yeah, that's the best way to play. Hell yeah. I mean, whatever brings you enjoyment. I mean, that's definitely a thing. That's the thing people like. Obviously, as like competitive Smash players, we joke about this a lot, and we were like exposed to the casual side like very often in high school and stuff like that, where they'd be like, "Why are you playing 1v1 on Final Destination? Where are the items, bro?" But like, that's definitely a thing people joke about. Like, competitiveness to a game like definitely like kills all the fun of it sometimes. Like, if you just play like casually for a lot of games, I think for most people it like keeps a lot more enjoyment. It kind of like sucks the original fun, I guess, out of it. Not to say that like competitive Smash isn't fun or like competitive Pokemon isn't fun, but there's a lot more fun to be had, I think, if you keep it casual. And then like once you start getting competitive, it kind of like there's things you can't enjoy anymore, I feel like.
Yeah, there are very specific things because you just kind of know the game and you like know how it works, and then you're just like, well, I know how to win, and I want to win. Think about
like Smash 4. You know how many casuals were like, bro, Cloud, so cool, Cloud's, bro, Bayonetta, so cool, like who would ever thought? And then it's like you get with us like, fucking goddamn Cloud Strife, fucking take him out of the game, he's so fucking cancerous, blah blah blah. Or like Bayonetta, oh my god, get her out of here. And it's like it's like stuff like that where you're just like, you don't realize what's really going on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, damn, we're about an hour deep. I hear some yelling in the back. During the podcast, I saw Isaiah booted up Smash, so I was wondering if we would hear him. But
they probably are playing Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I got the notification on my Switch, so it's like, Isaiah's playing Smash. Well, sir, do you have any closing thoughts for the people at home?
I guess. No, I can't really think of anything. I mean, I guess I'm like sorry that this was mostly a Pokemon.
I mean, hey, that's kind of our specialty. Like, this is the reason I wanted us to do a podcast from the start, really.
Yeah, true. That's true. So, I mean, I guess, you also have for it, so.
I have an idea for one of these Evening with the Kings, all right? The second quarantine is over, we're going to go get some post-quarantine jerseys.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring a microphone, and we're just going to do the podcast at jerseys. And we're going to edit out nothing. Like, they're going to be like, well, what do you want to drink? And I'll be like, Mr. Pibb, by the way, Mr.
King. Can we, like, go, like, in the afternoon, like at 12 or something, so that it's not, like, extremely loud?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. For sure we'll have to pick times when it's, like, fucking dead in there. But I feel like we have to do, like, a specialty one where it's fucking packed and we have to, like, wait for a table and shit. That'd be fucking legendary.
Well, you know, another thing that I thought of, I heard from Isaiah that you're interested in building a Magic deck.
I am. I was more interested, like, he's always, like from forever ago, we had, like, this random deal where he's like, Corey, I'll start playing Melee with you if you start playing Magic with me. Like, that's when he still lived in the same neighborhood as me. I was like, yeah, I'm down. So, I mean, like, I've always been, like, low-key interested, but the last time I was there, they're all just playing Magic. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? They're like, oh, yeah, we just play Magic.
It was really weird coming home because I was really excited. I had a few German cards. Like, in my Rillaboom deck, I have a Rillaboom V, but it's in German, and I was like really excited to just use it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I can't wait to play Pokemon with the new set. And then everyone's playing Commander. I was like, okay, well, I haven't actually played Pokemon. I haven't played Pokemon in a super hot minute.
Dang.
Yeah, Commander's fun though.
Shit, I mean, maybe we'll have to report on that next time.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I was saying. Like, if you ever make a Magic deck, then maybe that could be something else that we could talk about.
More things to talk about. Hell yeah, I'm down.
More things to talk about.
I'm an open-minded fella. I'm down to try it out, so.
Yeah, we could also talk about, you know, like, Persona.
Yeah. I mean, by the next time we do this, Persona 5R will be out. I don't know if either of us will have played it, but it will be out. So
True. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but yeah, for sure, I'd be happy to come back on and talk about anything with you, as long as I have at least the base level knowledge of it.
well, there you have it, folks. You heard it here first. The King, Purple Thunder. An Evening with the King will continue next time. But for now, I think that's all we got. Thank you guys so much for watching. You're watching this live. There's a lot of people in and out of here. Thank you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube later, if you're watching this, or not watching it, if you're listening to this on Anchor, hey, I appreciate you folks, because for some reason, the Evening with the King episodes, they always have more listeners than the random PNTV podcast. I guess people really want to hear the King and his Corona Germany adventures. Yeah, other than that, that is it for us. We'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace out.
Later.